Ooh, hey guys, welcome
I
into
love that
Auto
riff.
Rhythm.
Yeah.
Hey guys, welcome into Auto Rhythm Fantasy Sports. Today is Tuesday. Today is Tuesday.
Taco
The
Tuesday. Yeah.
Oh, it is Taco Tuesday. I'm your host Jamie, and we have the co-host on the other side, Eli.
Look what I got. Look, it's here.
Oh,
About
damn,
damn
dude,
time.
that thing looks pretty snazzy. That looks
I know.
pretty sweet, man.
Well, you were telling me you're gonna dude, you gotta throw some throw some love out to Buccaneer
Well,
Bruce and
see,
old
well,
school.
see. Now your head's in the way. We can't see the freaking
There we go.
banner
I'm gonna,
now.
I'm gonna talk like this tonight. There we go.
uh, uh,
Looks like I'm going
yeah.
down on him or something.
You crazy mofo. So I guess oh well, I don't have any of that, but I mean I got some coffee here.
I'll keep you
I should
awake,
have
and this will make
had.
that'll keep you awake. This will make me comatose.
Yeah, I'm sure it will. God dang.
This is good
Anyways,
shit. This is good shit. Have you tried this yet?
no, actually, I haven't. I've seen that at Kessler's. They have some there.
Uh it's Kendall Jenner. You know, she's one of the crazy Kardashians, but she
Oh
does
yeah.
she does some pretty damn good tequila. So this is her brand, and yeah, I'm gonna mix it in with some OJ here. Make a little drinky poo. There we go. All right, we're ready. All
Whew.
right,
Are you
yeah.
are you ready? Are you ready, man?
Oh, that's good. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, buddy. Let's roll.
Let's roll. You're funny. Um.
Try.
So how was your fantasy football? Did you win, lose? Did you get your ass kicked?
Um, the Yahoo Cup team did pretty decent. DraftKings, I didn't win any money, but I mean, I placed pretty decently too.
Yeah.
I put in a $5 entry, so
Did you?
I think I played. Yeah, I think I placed like towards the top, like probably was in like a 1,000 person or so pool. I think I was
Um.
somewhere like around 150. So I mean, it was that's decent. Let's see for the teams.
Like
16,
so
16 man. Go ahead, Jay.
I was just gonna say, ask you, like when you did your DK, did you just enter like a big league, or did you find like a smaller, like maybe like 100 man like
I
league?
mean, I kind of vary. I probably should have. Usually, I advocate that people do that to go with the smaller entries, like put $3 in and play in a 9 person, and try to win 20, $25. That's usually what I do or what I advocate. But this, yeah, I went in some big pool for $5. I'm like, what the hell, I was feeling kind of froggy, I guess Sunday morning. I was like, let's take on the world, baby. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Um.
so
Yeah.
not too
Go
bad.
ahead and finish up. Finish up in the other. I just wanted to ask you what size DK you entered and stuff like that when you did. Go ahead and finish up with your 16 man there quick, or
Yes.
invitational.
uh, almost blew me away there. The I don't know. I don't even want to talk about it. It was a shitty week. I'm not happy with my team in our 16 man. I might be looking to do some deals. Not a lot on the waiver wire. So I mean, I have, like I said, I have Hurts. I got JJ. I got Samuel. Tucker, kicker. I mean, kickers don't make much of a difference, but I mean, I got some pieces I'm happy with, and some pieces I'm not. I want to upgrade at running back. Rex Burkhead's been, he was non-existent on Sunday, and I just start him again because Dobbins is still hurt. So, yeah, kind of going to see what's out there in the 16 man, see if somebody wants to wheel and deal. The other 12 man that I'm doing with my brother, I think you're in that one too.
Yep, I'm in that one. I lost in that league too, so I'm
Yeah,
0-2.
yeah.
Fucking
No, I
A,
saw
dude.
that. I'm like, yeah, you're 0-2 there, and I think you're 1-1 in the 16 man. So yeah, both of us are, we're kind of not struggling, but kind of doing mediocre so far. So I think both of us have to, step our games up and kind of get
Yeah.
the teams figured out. See if maybe we can deal with each other. I don't know, just try to right the
Who
ship
knows?
a bit.
And hey, next thing you know, they'll be like collusion.
That's what these fuckers. Yeah, they Jamie, it's their fault. They tore us apart last year. These fuck that was that bastard Josh. It was him.
Yeah. I was just kind of. I mean, Hurts is not. I mean, you actually got Jefferson. You got Debo. I mean, you could probably do better at running back. You know, Sanders. I mean, I'm not really a fan of. I mean, you got
I'm not
Burkhead.
either.
Yeah. I mean, your wide receiver crew is top notch there. I mean, you got Parker's all right. I mean, your bench not the greatest. It's a good C there for sure. I mean, it's an average, but maybe you can deal Dobbins or something. Get deal off Hobbins, Higby. Try to.
If somebody's dumb enough to take him,
Yeah. But
probably
yeah,
maybe
over.
maybe try to put a package together, deal one of these tight, because Higby's solid. I mean, he's not great, but
Yeah,
he could probably start on some
for
of these
sure.
guys' teams. And he's definitely a top 16 tight end, so he could start for somebody. So I don't know, maybe I could try to deal him and try to upgrade the running
back. Oh God.
Oh, there's
Yeah, we
Chad.
got we got that chat. Oh, you know what's funny? Chad was actually having technical difficulties. He couldn't even get the show going up on Sunday. What the hell, Chad? Yeah, I know. It's I mean, I try to have the person on the other side do a lot of these the tickers, but hey, it is what it is. I had to put it up real quick. I'm just like, whatever.
Yeah, it happens. It happens to people as great as you, me, Chad, Buccaneer Bruce back here. It happens to all of us.
Yeah. It's all right, Chad. I'm not. I always say my grammar is not the best, but in bed it's always top notch.
Jimmy rode the short bus. He
might have wrote the. I might have written.
He makes up for in other ways.
Yes, my short bed is always the short bed. Hey, yeah, the short bed's always the best way.
Be a new segment of the show, the short bed.
Yeah. Here, Chad. Is this better for you? I'll just swap that over. There's all that stuff is good to go down there.
All right, man. Did you catch any college football? Listen.
One more comment, then we'll get on to.
Yes, he is. Hail Mary.
Yep. Yes, Curtis Samuel was on fire this weekend. That's for damn sure. That was
I'm definitely
good.
Yeah, dude. I'm definitely thinking about starting him. I think he's in that one we do together separately with my brother. So I'm thinking about putting him in the lineup there because I picked him up after week one. I think Samuel might be in the running for comeback player of the year. I mean, Wentz, as you can see, Wentz got a lot of garbage time yards in that game against the Lions.
Yeah, for sure.
But that helps. I mean, and McLaurin, I don't know if him and Wentz have the greatest repertoire yet. I think he likes Samuel better. And McLaurin, I mean, he's great himself, but I just think Wentz has some other target, and it's good to see him working back in with Logan Thomas again too.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Back from that injury, and he's been pretty productive the first 2 weeks, so it's good to see that. But go ahead.
Logan Thomas. I was just gonna say Logan Thomas is probably a good waiver wire ad this week. For sure.
He's a great one. So is Wentz. The whole damn team, Dotson. Yeah. What's with the hate with the Commanders, man? I don't know.
I know, right? Well, hey, Wentz comes freaking Washington. Next thing you know, they're.
That's what I'm saying. They're
top notch. I mean, look.
Defense is garbage. Defense is garbage, but they're putting up points and yards. So.
Yeah. I mean, shit. I mean, Wentz is up in the top 5 again this week. For last week or this week. So yeah. I mean, he's putting up numbers.
Wait. There he is. Yep, right there. 27.8.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not surprising that he's actually playing pretty well. I don't know. Is it the Colts are just not a good team, even though they got a couple good weapons? They just, but I don't know, it's just crazy.
we'll get to that in my dud segment. My thoughts on Matt Ryan.
Yeah.
I'll get into the whole damn team: Taylor, Pittman Jr., all those guys.
Yeah,
Frank
it's
Reich,
insane.
everybody's
Yeah.
up.
Oh,
Here's up.
yeah. Here's. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, I gotta kind of agree there a little bit. I mean, the Washington, their offense is. I mean, they got some good wide receivers there, man. I mean, they got um, like McLaurin, Dotson, Samuel. I mean, and now they got freaking Thomas too. I mean, it's not bad. It's gonna look pretty damn good. I mean, I'm hoping they actually have a better year than they did last year. So it's
Definitely, no,
I'm a
definitely. He's an upgrade. He's an upgrade over Heineke, whoever else they've had. He's probably their best quarterback since Kirk Cousins left. So,
yeah. Oh yeah. Yep. Yeah. Just quickly. Yeah. I actually the college teams that I actually watched was actually watched the Jackrabbits beat Butler, and yeah, Fitzpatrick was pretty good, but he was a loose cannon. Um,
2-1,
and then
2-1. Their only loss is to Iowa. That's not
yeah,
a Iowa's got a really
yeah,
good defense. So I mean they almost
yeah,
pulled that out. So the Jacks could be 3-0.
yeah.
So
Yeah, I actually watched the Bison play because they actually were playing a Pac-12 game, so I was actually just kind of watching that a little bit. I was like, "Ooh, damn!" It was actually super close. I actually think the Bison they had a one play or they had a drive that was just kind of stalled out, and they kind of this flop. They had a flop, and that's what kind of killed them. And it was in the fourth quarter, I believe it was. But the Bison was actually they should have won that game. I was gonna be like, oh shit. So
I'm gonna say it now. I'm gonna I'm gonna tap into the old handy dandy Santa bag here and open up a bag of gifts for you guys here. It's time for it is time for NDSU to go up a level. It's time. Arizona's probably what, a 7-5 ish team. Like they'll be a
yeah.
bowl team. They're not
Well,
great. They're not USC or Oregon or anything, but I mean they're probably a bowl team. So you hung
yeah,
right
most
in there.
definitely.
They could have. I mean they led almost the entire game. So NDSU should have won that game on the road.
Yeah, yeah,
And
they should have most
they're
definitely.
they're dominating in FCS. I think they should consider a move, and I know, and it should bring the Jacks with you. I think should SDSU. I mean, how many tournament runs have they made with in basketball? I mean, I think both these programs should be looking at moving up and joining a
Yeah,
bigger conference, because I think especially NDSU, the way they're producing these NFL, especially quarterbacks and offensive linemen, the way they're cranking them out now. I mean,
yeah.
to me they're an FBS program, definitely,
Well,
and I think this just solidified that. I mean, they should have won that game. They should be 3-0, and they should go back to dominate. They're probably going to win, another FCS title. And
hopefully not. I rather see the Jacks get a title here. I mean, the Jacks are getting to be pretty good. I mean, they haven't won a title yet, but I mean, I want them to win a title. But yeah, overall, I mean, if you think about it, the Bison are actually like the Alabama of the FCS. They're always the team to beat. So I mean, it's just one of those things. I guess you can put it that way.
no, definitely are, and it's just you should be ambitious at this point with the way the program is. So that's something to
Yeah.
look at. Speaking of Alabama and some of the upper echelon teams here, good Lord, man, they crushed it. I think they won was it 60-6 or something? Like they
Yeah, I don't
slaughtered
know. Yeah.
Ohio
Yeah. I'm
State.
not quite sure.
Ohio State's hung like 77 on Akron. Good Lord.
Mhm. Mhm.
Michigan won. This is the point differential, and a lot of people aren't looking at this, but Michigan is my early favorite to win the national championship. I think they're better than Ohio State. I think it'd be them and Georgia in the final. I'm calling it right now.
Ooh.
Michigan, Georgia, in the national championship game. They'll both win their playoff matchups. Michigan's point differential. I know we're only 3 games into the season. Michigan's point differential. They're beating teams on average by about 50 points. Like they're putting up about
Jesus Christ.
bro, they're putting up about 55 and they're allowing about 5. And granted, this
My God.
hasn't been a lot of Big Ten competition yet. I mean, it might get a little stiffer when they got to play Ohio State or Wisconsin or Penn
Yeah.
State, programs like that. But I mean, right now, I mean, they're killing on both sides of the ball. I mean, people think the fucking Bills are dominant in the NFL. I mean, I put Michigan could probably beat the Texans right now. I mean, the way
yeah.
So I was really impressed with that, and I don't know, man. I think the kid from Washington. I was looking at some of the draft boards. I was looking at some of the mock draft boards. I'm trying to keep an eye on things because Tom Brady's retiring, and we need a quarterback, and you guys might need one too.
Yeah.
I'm not the biggest Dak Prescott fan.
We just got so much.
Right. Michael Penix Jr. You're probably going to say the same thing. You're like Michael Penix Jr. Absolutely. He's the lefty from Washington right now. He's like the number 2 guy in passing in college in the top level of college football, and he's moving up draft boards. He's a kid I'm looking at. I'm like, if we can't trade for Lamar Jackson, not that he'd come to Tampa, but if you can't swing, I mean, Baltimore would be retarded to ever let him out of sight. But if you can't swing an existing guy, obviously Jimmy is going to be in San Francisco. I think Penix Jr. And then I like the kid. I like Stroud a lot from Ohio State. CJ Stroud.
Yeah, I think. Well, Stroud, he's going to go higher. Yeah, he's going to go higher.
He's a top 5. He's a top 5. But if you want somebody, maybe like second, third round, kind of a sleeper, Penix Jr. This guy I was looking at.
Yeah, I was kind of looking at some stuff on Facebook, whatever. Just some, just it's usually just kind of mock drafts and stuff like that. That you just kind of see, or just kind of like early predictions and where people could fall at and whatnot. So I mean, just some stuff like that I kind of dig into and kind of name recognition. And I usually watch. I mean, I try to watch a lot of sports, college games on Sunday, or not Sunday, on Saturdays. My bad. But we have so much to talk about. But yeah, let's get into your studs quick.
I was gonna get it. Well, I'll get into that. I was gonna get into that OSU hat you got. I love that. Oh wait, Harley.
Yes, I think they won too. I think I kind of watched that game just a little bit, but I was more into wanting to watch like SCSU. So, and then I was watching. There was a couple other games I was, so I was actually like watching like 3 or 4 games bouncing around.
We got to get you some Jack's gear, man. We got to get you a Jack's hat or a hoodie or something. You can rep them one of these episodes too.
Yeah, right.
But no, so move back to the pros here. Studs and duds, and I love that. I love that sombrero. Got my boy Aaron Jones down there, and I can't believe I'm saying. I'll start with studs here. My boy Aaron Jones down there, monster game, had over 130 yards rushing. I mean but he's gonna do that. I remember last year in week 2 against the Lions, he did the same. He was a bust in week 1, week 2, lit it up, 4 touchdowns, 140 something yards, and he caught a few. Same kind of game here. This is what the guy does. About the second game of the year, he always goes off. There'll be about 4 of these a season where Aaron Jones is very average most of the year, but there'll be a couple games where he pops and he seduces you. He's just like, I don't think he's consistent. I mean, he can't stay at this level, but this was one of those great games, and I got to give him a shout out for that. And I can't believe I'm saying this, Joe Flacco. I didn't know. Honestly, I didn't know until Mr. MILF Hunter himself, my boy Zach Wilson, he got hurt. I didn't know Joe Flacco was still in the league. I didn't know he was. I didn't know he was still collecting the NFL paycheck. And the guy goes out, scores 4 touchdowns, beats the Browns. I didn't think this was coming. I didn't think I would ever say. I mean, what is this? 2012? Huh? You know what I mean? Is this 10 years ago? The last time Joe Flacco was relevant. Like, what's this? You got 2 studs too, or do you want to leave it at that?
No. Well, for Joe Flacco, this is what. Well,
I'm shocked. I'm surprised Chad or Jared isn't commenting about Flacco.
All right, those are your studs. These are my studs. All
Dolphins, whole Dolphins team there.
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome to actually see the Dolphins actually doing something. You had Waddle and Tariq Hill. They're both. I mean, she's both of them almost 200 yards, 2 touchdowns each coming back from the Ravens. I hate the Ravens. I hate the Ravens. Fucking hate the Ravens. I just hate them. I mean, even though we got a guy in the group that's all Ravens, I just not a fan. I'm glad
Yeah,
they
sorry,
lost.
Zach. Sorry to break up your little Jimmy Jam session here.
But I mean, Jackson, he had an amazing day too. I mean, he was running and tossing, and I'm just glad that they lost again, and somebody else beat
They,
them.
they pissed that away, man. I was watching the first half before I went to the gym, and I thought Baltimore was going to win soundly. Honestly, I thought it was going to be
Mm,
maybe 34 to 17, something like that. But
yeah,
Dolphins just came on like gangbusters. Tua looked great, 6 touchdowns. Dolphins
yep,
receiver, look at those stat lines, man. That's why
I
they brought
know.
Ty. That's how Jalen did that a couple times last year. But this time he's got a partner in crime. This is why you
Yeah,
pay 30. This is why you pay $30 million for Tyreek, because he can do stuff like this.
yeah,
There's only a handful of guys in the league that can put up that stat line, that can cause that much disruption in the secondary. And Baltimore, they're not great on defense, but they're very solid, and they made them look silly. And
yeah,
and and on the other end, I mean, Lamar had a great game too. So I mean, it was just a great game. I mean, it was just one of those ones you're like, I got my money's worth watching it. Lots of offense, lots of great throws. And I don't know. We'll get into the Dolphins, with their matchup with the Bills, for one of our
Fab
Three's a
Three.
Crowd segment. Yeah, so we'll talk about the Dolphins again here in a
Yeah,
few
three
minutes.
is crowd. Yeah. Yeah,
Uh,
I just like the fact. I mean, I was gonna say I lost to Govier in Jared's league
he'll
by
never
like
live. He'll never let
it
you
was
live that down. Go over here.
yeah. Well, I it was if I probably would have won. I had London on the bench who had 20 some odd points. I had Hutchinson who actually put up like I think it was either 20 25 points. He had a heyday, 3 sacks and
Bro, he
whatnot.
was going
So
off. Yeah, he was
yeah,
going off
I
on the
so
defensive
I was
side.
just like, and I was thinking, well, I should have. I mean, I passed out. I should have maybe looked at my wide receivers. I mean, it was my fault because I had Elijah Moore. I had some other guys too, and I think I had. I'm trying to think who else I had that ended up just shit in the bed for me, and it was not great. I was kind of pissed, but I was thinking that like, well, I have Von Miller, and I had the defensive end from um I had at Daniel Hunter from the Vikings, and I figured I'm like, all right, well, 20,
Tennille,
20.
Tennille, like like
So
like like Captain Tennille,
yeah,
the '70s people or whatever the hell they were.
yeah. So I was kind of like, ah, shit. So I'm like, well, I'm only down by like 20 some odd points. I'm like, I should be able to do. I should be able, get some points there, and I should be able to win easy. And I'm like, I fell short. I fell short of like I think it was by like a couple points at least. I fell short of him. I'm like, god damn. So if I would have just so I had Judy who shit the bed, had Kirk who went off. I had Tua who had went off for 6 touchdowns, and I fucking lost the game. So I'm like, oh my god. So I mean, if I would have just swapped out, Elijah Moore, I probably would have just smoked him. I probably would have won, but it
I'm,
was kind of my own fault.
I'm putting that loss squarely on Jerry Judy and that pathetic, abysmal Denver Broncos offense. That is I'm dude. 2 games into it. 2 games
Yep.
into it, and I'm done with Hackett. I'm done with the head coach. I mean, I'm gonna have to eat up. I mean, we're gonna have to go through a buffet. How much shit I'm gonna have to eat for Russ? I mean, this is not good. This is
Yeah.
no bueno, man. I mean, they won the game, but I mean, that's not saying much. You were at home against the Texans. You should win that game. So it's
Yeah.
just
Should have.
so I'm putting your loss squarely on Jerry Judy's shoulders. That's how we're
Yeah.
gonna phrase it. It's not your fault. It's his fault.
Well,
So
here's your duds.
so now I get to go. Okay. Well, yeah. So you did the whole Dolphins team for studs. And for duds, I'm doing the whole damn Colts team, and I'm about to lay the smackdown on this whole franchise. They need to blow it up. I'm sorry. Frank Reich needs to go. I'm sorry. He was a good. I mean, for the first couple of years, he was a decent coach. But I mean, this team's regressing. They can't. I mean, Pittman Jr. You can't utilize this guy. This guy's a top 15 consensus top 15 receiver in the league. I mean, you can't utilize him properly. Jonathan Taylor, who's a top 5 back, if not the best one, top 3, if not the best. These guys should be carrying your offense. I mean, the offensive line isn't the greatest. I mean, it's like mid-pack. But, I mean, a few years ago, the Colts had one of the best. So, I don't know what happened. I mean, I don't know if it's drafting or what. But my feelings, it comes down to one person, Jamie. Other than the coach and some of the skill position players, it's Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan has to go. Okay, Matt Ryan is done. The Colts were stupid signing him. I didn't like I thought he should have retired. I mean, if you thought Joe Flacco was shot, I mean, I feel the same way about Matt Ryan. It's like they're about the same age. It's like this guy's done. He's shot. It's just one game. No, he was pretty bad in the opening week against the Texans too, and he wasn't very good. He's always thrown for a lot of yards. Matt Ryan, he's been on a lot of bad Falcons teams where he gets a lot of garbage time yards. That's what the guy's done. He at one time he was an MVP, and one time he was a productive quarterback. He ain't that anymore. This guy needs
no.
Nick Foles, Jamie. Nick Foles is on the bench. Nick Foles. You know what he does? Comes in, he wins. I bench Matt Ryan now and bring in Nick Foles. I don't listen. If Frank Reich wants to save his job, or if some of these guys want to save some fantasy owners, because there was a lot of high picks for Pittman Jr. and especially Taylor.
Yeah.
Taylor was a top 5 pick in probably everybody's draft, no matter what the format, roto, PPR, like anything, like he consensus, and we can't have that messed up by this damn Matt Ryan. What do you think about Matt Ryan? And we'll get to the studs or your duds. Sorry.
Yeah, I think Matt Ryan's he's washed. He should be done. I mean, he shouldn't be playing anymore. I mean, he's just as old as Brady is. It shows they didn't do anything. I mean, they couldn't get anything going. It's like, dude, come on, it's Jacksonville. What the hell is wrong with you? But the downfall is when the Colts come into Jacksonville. When the Colts come into Jacksonville, they lose. It's just automatic. Just put a call up. Done. Don't even show up for the game. Just go home. Go back to the freaking. Go back to practice field. You don't even show up. What the hell,
It's not like they're playing the Bill. It's not like they're playing the damn Bills or some upper echelon Chiefs or something. Like these guys. You're playing the Jags. I mean it's a 6-win team. It's a 6-11 team at best, and you get just smoked.
For Taylor being this bad and only rushing for 54 yards. Okay. But he was your top guy. The fuck? He only had one good run for 21 yards.
Yeah. Everything else was shit. It was shit.
It was. Yep.
What the hell happened? Colts had one of the best offensive lines, but I don't know, injuries or losing people in free agency or what happened. But I remember a few years ago, dude, they were right up there with you guys, Dallas and Green Bay.
Yeah, they were. Yeah.
All right, I'm done with you. I feel 10 pounds lighter. The Matt Ryan monkey is off my back.
There we go. That's for the Colts. Okay, my duds right here.
The whole Titans. Yeah. I love that, dude. I love that logo. They should roll with that. It's like custom. I love that.
Well, I mean, Titans didn't show up. They didn't show up. Tannehill, he just looked bad. Derrick Henry, Henry's a big beast. They couldn't do anything. Couldn't get anything going. I'm surprised with that because the game should have been 10 times. The game should have been a little bit more evened out a little bit. Titans can score if they want to score, but they just evidently didn't show up. I think it's time to get fucking Tannehill out and let the rookie play.
They were much more competitive when they played the Bills last year or the last couple of years. I mean, I think they played a couple times. They've been this time they just shit the bed. They lost. I know it was a last second loss, but they lost the Giants in week 1, and just not a good look. You know what? This is another team. You stupidly traded away AJ Brown. I mean, you're seeing what AJ is doing in Philly. I mean, the guy. I mean, how many times do you get a number one receiver young in his career traded to you? You know, it's like, come on. They could have paid him. They could have paid him, Jamie. They could have paid $25 million. That's the going rate for a number one receiver now. Derek, I would trade. You know what? I would blow this up. I would trade Derrick Henry, and I would put in Malik Willis. I'm done with Tannehill. I've been done with Tannehill. To me, he's right up there with my favorite guy, Daniel Jones. He's right up there. Hey, a lot of these older quarterbacks that can't hack it anymore. Apparently, the best of the bunch is my boy Joe Flacco now. But Matt Ryan and Ryan Tannehill, they got to go. Tannehill,
yeah,
he got benched in the third quarter, I think. Now it's time to bench him permanently. Bring in Willis. You know what, Mike Vrabel, he's got enough equity built up. Vrabel won't get fired if they go like 3-14 and they play the rookie. I mean, it's gonna be. But I mean, I think Malik can do more with his feet. I think he's gonna be a more polished. I mean, you work with the kid a couple years. We both are high on Malik Willis. He was a steal in the third round.
Oh, he was most definitely, especially for being a smaller school from Liberty, and him being a tall QB too. I mean, there was highlights of him running up and down the field, tossing the ball to wide receivers. So I mean, it's
freakish athlete. Yeah, absolutely.
He is. For not to give him any reps, and I honestly rather see him over Tannehill. That's just me though.
Yeah, I've seen enough of Ryan Tannehill. I don't want to see him as a backup. I don't want to see him holding a clipboard. I don't want to see him on I don't want to see him in the commentator's booth in a couple years on Fox. I'm just done with him in general. This guy's pathetic. He's garbage. He is garbage. Now you can fully cherish the sight of Buccaneer Bruce. Look at him. There's Tom. There's a quarterback. There's a quarterback, Jamie. There's a quarterback. Not that damn Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, other than that, we have to I got a couple guys for waivers that we could probably let's get into some waiver stuff because it's Tuesday. Yeah. So I mean we gotta figure out what the hell we're doing our teams. Oh, I was also gonna say I went 4-7 this week. Only got 4 wins and 7 losses. Just straight trash, man. I was 7-4 week 1, and now it's time to.
Well, you're pretty much balanced out at this point. You're 11 you're 11-11 for the season now. So you're
damn. 500, baby.
500, baby. Don't know, but you'll come back strong. I mean, some weeks you just got to take I took a couple L's. It happens.
Yeah. Well, I hate taking L's in your brother's league because what's funny? It's always as many years that I've been in that league.
Yet, have you?
No, so like I'm literally trying to win that league, so I can just say, you guys, I'm done. I'm out of here. After 14 years of being in that league, I'm out.
You're like done. Fucking Dale Earnhardt, finally winning the Daytona 500.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm like, pieces. I'm done. Yep. I got better things. But no, I mean, I know it's kind of more of a family league. I think there's a couple other guys in there, but I mean, it's for just a small 10-man. It's always competitive.
12.
No, it's 10.
Oh, it must be a different. Oh, the other league. Yeah, so the one I'm not in.
No, the one you're in, I think.
No,
it's your brother's.
The one we're in together with my brother's at 12.
Is it 12? Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, I thought it was 10, but yeah, it's always competitive. So I mean, for it being that small, I mean, it's very competitive league always. So, and I always, it's just like, God, man, I just want to win, but. That's why I always like put work into what I do. I want to win that league this year. And it's just like going 0-2 is not the way I wanted to start.
I am number one.
But I got a couple guys. I know with Trey. Oh, I forgot to talk about Trey Lance because Trey Lance he got injured, so he's out for the season. He didn't break his ankle, but I think he fractured his ankle. I mean, it wasn't like a puncture like with Dak. So I mean, Jimmy's only rostered in 6% of Yahoo leagues, so that's going to be more likely almost 98%. So people who had Trey Lance, um, I'll
He's
just say,
done for the year. That was smart.
yeah,
You know, all of us were like, "Why aren't you dealing him? You know, you're going to play the kid."
yeah.
John Lynch, pretty smart man. He
Well,
kept
he's
Jimmy,
pretty.
and now Jimmy's a waiver. He's one of the waiver wizards, Jamie.
Yeah. Well,
Woo!
there. I mean, there are some guys who I'm sure had Jimmy on their team, so they're like, "Oh yes, lucky me." But there's going to be people fighting for Jimmy this week for sure. So I mean, it's not now. It's like, how much fab do you put down on if you're in a fab league? How much fab do you put down on a guy like him to, especially if you don't have the first priority in fab leagues and stuff like that. So I mean, it's just kind of like, how much fab do you put down on a guy like that to get him on your team? Because I mean, I lost Trey Lance, so now I gotta figure out how much fab I'm putting down to try to get his ass.
So you talking about like the $300
Yeah,
allowance
just
that
in a
we're
budget, just like in a budget. I mean, I like, if you say you got,
so is that universe like I don't know. I guess I never really paid attention when I did NFL.com years ago or ESPN. So is that universal or is it just Yahoo that does like a $300 budget for
no, Sleeper
all?
does it too. Sleeper, I don't know. I'm not sure if ESPN does. I'm not sure if the NFL does. The NFL app does. I'm not sure if they do or not. I haven't really dug into that, but maybe it's possible. But I just know Sleeper does
I
it and Yahoo does it.
I think you know what depends on who your backup is because I mean a lot of
I
people
don't.
have their he's not better than a lot of people's starters in 12 and 16 man. Let's just be honest here.
Well,
Jimmy,
in a deeper league, yeah. I mean, he's like, especially in a deeper league. I'm like, to me, I'm like, yes, I think Jimmy's better than some of these other guys.
no
He's a better.
to me he's like fantasy wise he's top 20, 25. Like fantasy, like just as a quarterback, I think he's a lot better than that. But like putting up points, he's probably around 21, 22. So I mean, definitely, he should definitely be your backup in a 12 or 16 man. I don't, and he's somebody I definitely feel comfortable putting in for that bye week for my guy. But I don't think guys are gonna, unless your backup is just pitiful, like Ryan Tannehill. I don't think
uh,
guys are running out there and like, oh god, I got to get my because Carson Wentz is still on the freaking waiver wire, and we know what he's been doing so far this year. So if people aren't clamoring to go get Carson Wentz, I can't imagine. So you should be able to grab him. I mean, I wouldn't maybe 30, maybe
30,
30
like
you have to put down to get Jimmy. I mean, not too much. I mean,
well, yeah. I mean, it just depends on your budget, and you don't want to
yeah,
overpay for them, but I mean, you want to enough to actually get them because I mean,
yeah.
especially in especially two quarterback leagues. So if you got Trey, I mean, there's not a lot out there, so you're gonna hopefully you got the first priority. Especially in like super flex teams where you got QB, wide receiver, tight end, and all those. I mean, to me, I guess super flex is almost like a 2 QB league. A lot of people are like, yeah, but you could do this and this. But a lot of times you're playing your quarterback because that's going to be putting up the numbers. So I mean, to me, it's a super flex team or super flex league is almost like a 2 QB league to me. It's just no brainer. Even though you can swap them out, they're just exactly the same.
Flexing on them hoes, flexing on them
But
hoes.
yeah, Wentz is about 52% rostered. He's probably more likely he's still out there. He's not quite up there yet. Goff, he's only 23%. I think Goff is average, but I mean, if you need somebody, um, he played well this weekend, but I'm trying to think who they got this upcoming week. I didn't look at
He's
who they
you're
got, but
the guys you're bringing up. I mean, I would, in a pinch, I'd feel okay. In a pinch, I'd feel okay sticking them in. I don't know, Jared Goff. That might be one of his, few games this year where because he does a lot of. He's another guy too that just he lacks a lot of things and he does stupid
Yeah.
things with the ball sometimes. So I mean, this is one of his like probably 5 good games of the year. So you just hit that up, check that off. So you got 4 more.
Yeah.
You have 4 more bullets in the chamber. So. But yeah, definitely feel more comfortable with Wentz or Jimmy. Goff is there. Joe Flacco's there, but I think week 2 was a mirage. I don't think you're going to turn back the clock to 2010 or 2012 with Flacco.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see that happening. At quarterback, I don't know. Maybe Davis Mills. Maybe I'm pretty sure he might be available, or Ross. He's probably in that same category of guys where he's rostered or he's not. God, I don't know. I don't know, Jamie. I don't know anymore.
All right. Well, look here. So here's my wide receivers. I got Corey Davis at 14%. Your man, newly acquired Cole Beasley to the Buccaneers.
Yeah, I saw that. He's gonna be he's gonna be our Welker. It wasn't Scotty Miller, man. It's gonna be Cole Beasley, baby.
And then I got Noah Brown. I got Noah Brown at 2%. Shepard at 11%, and Greg Dortch at 7%. So those are kind of the guys.
Dortch is the guy. I was waiting to see what he'd do in week 2, and he got a fair share of targets against the Raiders on Sunday, and so I'm like, yeah, I'm sold. I'm definitely on the Greg Dortch train now. So if he's still available in your league, go snag him up, stash him on the bench, and right the way he's been playing the first couple weeks, and we'll see if that can continue. But I would definitely feel comfortable throwing him in on a bye week, for my in the flex spot or in the receiver spot. If you get further in the season when you need that fill-in guy, I mean, the way Dortch has been playing, you can comfortably stick him in. So
you can probably play,
especially a deeper J, especially in a 16-man, and definitely on a DraftKings team. I mean, Dortch is probably still pretty cheap. So I mean, he's got a couple different uses.
Yeah, with Rondale Moore he probably won't be playing for another 4 to 5 weeks, roughly. So I mean, Dortch is going to be a good play there. Shepard, more likely they're number 1 right now because the rest of the guys are just not there. So I'm all in for Shepard. I know you're not, but Shepard's a guy to look at if you need him.
Surprisingly.
Oh, did you change your tune?
I said if he could stay, as I said the same thing about Saquon. I'm like, if these guys can stay healthy, they're very good weapons. Saquon is great. I mean, when he's healthy, and you're seeing it now, Saquon's great. Saquon's top 5 when he's healthy. He just can't stay healthy. Same thing with Shepard. Shepard's probably a top 30 receiver when he's healthy. Yeah, Shepard I think is a top 30 receiver, but he doesn't stay healthy. So I don't have any problem with him being the Giants' number 1. I don't trust the course of a season, and they're off to a 2-0 start. We'll talk about them in a few minutes here, but I know Galladay. I was reading a report. I was looking at the news. Galladay's out of favor, so I think they're ready to cut Galladay or trade him or bench his ass.
I'm sure.
Wayndale Robinson. I mean, he's supposed to be the young guy that they're working in, and I haven't seen a lot out of him yet. So I know they got Kadarius Toney, or Kadarius Toney. I'm trying to think of the other guy. I saw another guy catch a touchdown from them that I was like, who the hell is that? They've had a couple guys like that where I'm like, who the hell is that? Is that a practice squad guy?
Yeah. Probably more than likely.
Sterling is definitely right now, as we speak, Sterling is the number 1 target.
Corey Davis is out there. So if you had to rank Davis, Beasley, Noah Brown, Shepard, and Dortch, which ones would you prioritize?
Well, I pretty much just I would actually put Dortch 1. I'd put Sterling Shepard 2. I'd put Noah Brown 3. Because I like the young, usually these practice squad guys or these, kind of backup court, they'll have a rapport with somebody else. You know what I mean? They're not playing with a lot of the ones. So when Cooper Rush was taking reps in practice, or when he was on the practice squad, he was working with a lot of these, like Noah Brown. I mean, he wasn't working with CD. He wasn't working. Last year he wouldn't have been working with Amari Cooper. I know he played a little bit. And he did well when he played for Dak last year and before. So, but I Noah Brown I'm high on, because I think he's got a rapport with Cooper Rush, and I think that can mean good things. And I think, and especially while Gallup is out right now, I don't see why Noah Brown, because it hasn't been Turpin yet, so I don't see why, if Gallup is out, why Noah Brown can't be the number 2 receiver. And you like him. I mean, he looks solid against the Bengals. Looks solid. Nobody looked good week 1, but against Tampa. But yeah, he looked good.
No, not really.
I think he's going to look good. I think Noah Brown's going to look good against the Giants on Monday. Honestly, so he'd be my number 3.
I mean, I was hoping.
Go ahead.
Okay. Oh, there was Beasley and Davis.
I put Beasley number 5. I like the signing. I don't know what to expect yet. And you can't go on. I mean, sometimes these roster spots are too valuable to be giving it up to somebody that you don't know what he. I mean, the guy made the Pro Bowl a couple years ago. I mean, so Cole Beasley, he's done a few things in the NFL. I mean, he's no scrub.
Yeah,
but I just don't know how much he has left at this age. I don't know what he has left in the tank. Bills wouldn't have cut a productive receiver had he not lost a step or not been up to par. I don't think he's McKenzie or any of those, 3rd, 4 guys that they had. So, and then, so I put Beasley at 5, and then Corey Davis at 4. So those would be those. Good. But Dortch right now, especially with Rondale being out, Dortch is the guy you have to target, and if you got to bid on him, you got to do it. You have to get him on your team, make it happen.
Gotcha. Here's a couple running backs. A couple running backs here. I got Darrell Williams at 5%. Enjo Benjamin or Eno Benjamin. Yeah, 11%, and we got Jordan Mason at 5%. So those are kind of the guys that might be more likely to be on your guys' waiver wires. With those 2 Cardinals running backs,
not so fast, my friend. Marlon Mack was signed by the 49ers. And he was productive, not like, Pro Bowl level productive, but Marlon Mack was a good back with the Colts. He was a good back with the Texans. If he has anything left, how much Shanahan loves swapping these backs out every week. So I think Marlon Mack might be the second best option there. And I
don't know.
He's another guy like Beasley. They just brought up, he wasn't available, before this.
I don't know. I'm not sure about Marlon Mack. If you couldn't make it with the Texans being, their lead back there with the crap they had there with the Texans, why would he be a lead guy with the 49ers?
It's a system thing. Kyle Shanahan could get 80 yards out of you. I'm saying this man
80 yards and a heart attack.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe Marlon Mack could be a guy to maybe keep an eye on, just kind of see how he does. But I wouldn't be adding him, that's for sure. I would rather take Jordan Mason over that, because Price is out with an ankle injury for a little while. So it's the only reason why they got Marlon Mack. But other than that, it's gonna be Wilson, Mason, then maybe Mack in there. But I don't see Mack kind of doing anything, irrelevant. I forgot to say something mentioned about Lazard. If Lazard is out there in some of your guys' leagues, those guys that probably angry dropped him or whatever.
This is what I think of Marlon Mack right here. It's a return of the Mack, man. There we go. Sorry, I had to do that.
No, it's all good. I was just saying, Lazard, if he's out there, go get him, go pick him up. What? He's 85% or 85% rostered. He could. It's very well. He could probably be out there in a bunch of waiver wires. There's guys that probably dropped him, even though he might be 85%. But There's a couple. I mean, maybe he might be small leagues, maybe deeper leagues, not so much. But there, you never know. There might be a chance of him being out there. And tight
People's
ends,
got the
quick.
damn minds.
Yep. Tight ends. We got Logan Thomas, and I put Tyler Conklin. You know,
Yeah, from the Jet. Yeah, I brought him up last week too. I think he had what? He had touchdown. I think week 1 he had a touchdown, right?
yeah.
I didn't see a stat line for week 2 against the
I
Browns,
think
but
he had quite a few catches, and I think it was almost 60 something. But he
yeah,
had
so he's
so
been. I mean, he's been putting up pretty decent points the first 2 weeks, and I don't see
yep.
any sign of CJ Uzuma. So I think Conklin's their number 1 guy right now, and if he's available, and Joe Flacco's turning back the clock here, putting up some yards. I mean, it's worth kicking the tires on. If your backup tight end is garbage or hurt, yeah, definitely bring it.
Yeah.
Logan Thomas has been doing the same thing. I mean, he's been a reclamation project with Carson Wentz here. So I think I like both those guys, honestly. I don't think you can go wrong with either. If they're back, I wouldn't start them, but for backups, I don't think you can go wrong with either of them.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Cronklin's been double digits already. Double digit fantasy points. So I mean, that's a plus. I mean, I could see maybe if he had like 4 or 3. I wouldn't even take a look at him. But if he's getting double digits, with Flacco being in there, why not? He might be He'll probably be valuable for the at least next couple of weeks. So I mean, if you need a tight end, there you go.
That's a big thing too that Jamie. I don't know if he's mentioned that on our show, but Jamie is huge on kind of because he does a bunch of other fantasy sports. He's huge on riding waves. Like if guys are out, Jamie's very tactical in the sense of like we were talking about Michael Gallup. Michael Gallup is out right now, and so like Jamie's like, well, So if Turpin's not getting targets, I'm going to go with Noah Brown, and same thing here. The 49ers running backs or whoever it might be. I mean, Jamie's very like, hey, I'm going to ride this wave. I'm going to ride the. Rondale Moore is out, so I'm going to ride the wave in Arizona and get who I can get in there and get Dortch in there. So or AJ Green or something. So yeah, I think it's smart the way you set that up, and I think a lot of people should do that. I should do that more. Where you take a 3-4 week stretch and then you drop the guy or you trade him or you just kind of cut bait with him. You don't like, okay, he got me through this tough stretch here, got me some points. He's not going to consistently do that over the course of a season.
No.
There was a trade one before we get to the next segment, but I was going to say, bringing up Josh again, that dirty bastard. So there was a deal. There was a deal in one of the leagues, wasn't there? Saquon for Tom Brady. See, I know you didn't like the trade, but here's my thought process: is like the guy who picked up Brady had Mariota starting it. I mean, Mariota's garbage, absolute garbage. Isn't even making it up with his feet like people thought he would. People thought maybe he gets some rushing yards or rushing touchdowns or something to kind of offset the fact that he doesn't throw many passing yards. Wrong. He hasn't done any of that stuff. So Brady was an upgrade there. But you ride Saquon out. I mean, I'm making a deal for Saquon. Meaning that, like, if he can stay healthy, that's my fantasy championship right there. If Saquon stays healthy, he's a top 5 back, if not the best. I mean, so especially with Taylor struggling, and CMC struggling too. I guess he had 100 yards, but my thoughts on him.
Yeah, I know. I was
that kind of a deal I like because people are but they're thinking like I'm gonna ride this wave. Saquon's healthy, and I'm going for it. And the guy made the trade is 2-0, and he's got a championship caliber team. So I don't blame him. I think that was a good trade, and I think anybody kind of in that same situation should pull the trigger, especially if you have a championship caliber team. You go for broke. I mean, Jamie's won numerous championships, and he'd tell you that. Like sometimes you just got to go for it. You got to make the deal. But I don't know. What are your thoughts?
Well, because he had Trey Lance. Trey Lance got hurt, so he dropped him. So he had Mike Williams, Mooney, Brandon Cooks. He had Patterson as his other running back, but I don't see Patterson being elite. I mean, he has Knox.
He's solid though, man. You can flex Cordero. He's solid.
I mean, I'm just kind of overall looking.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got Melvin Gordon, who's in a 50-50. So I mean, Melvin Gordon, not the greatest. So he has Mariota. He had Janoku, Noah Fant. He had Nico Collins, and he has Landry. And a lot of these guys are just, and he's carrying two defenses, and he's got wing so I mean, when I looked at his roster, I was just like, I'm sorry, I wouldn't have traded off Barkley because Barkley is one of his more better assets in his league on his team. And like for if you're getting Barkley for me, it's gonna be more of a 2-for-1. Okay, what can I upgrade here? I'm like, well, maybe I need another running back. I'm like, hey, you give me another running back for I would have said, give me a running back for Brady, and you can have freaking um, uh, Barkley.
You raise it.
That's just
No,
me.
you raise a good point. But what I'm saying is, so you take a risk, and I'd say the same thing if somebody was trading for CMC. I'd be like, you're taking a risk, and so assuming that risk, I'm going to lower my trade. And if the other guy's willing to do it, I mean, he's a grown adult. I mean, if the guy's dumb enough to do it, I think definitely Josh won the trade. I mean, Saquon is better than Tom Brady. I mean, there's no question.
Oh yeah, but I'm just like, oh my god, I wasn't trying to be like, it sucks because you're kind of like, God, it's like what the, it's hard to think or put a view on what people think when they come to a trade, like especially if someone doesn't really have a lot of knowledge or doesn't or just seem like they say they know what they're doing but not knowing what they're doing. So it's kind of like, dude, what's going through your mind? Yeah, it might be a good trade. Is his QB might his QB is getting a better upgrade, but he's downgraded in other areas. That's
It,
just
it,
how I see it, I guess.
is that in the 12 man? Is that still a keeper league that those guys are trading? Okay, so
Yeah.
and so Josh is honestly, if this works out and Saquon stays healthy and those injuries are in his past, I mean, Josh makes out like a bandit because Tom Brady's going to retire after this year. And Saquon, you could probably still use for a couple of years. I mean, if Saquon, all pros it this year, you can use him as one of your 3 keepers for next year. So I mean, yeah, it's a high risk, low, or I don't even know if it's a high risk. I mean, Josh's team, the rest of it. I mean, this was just, I think it was the missing piece to go for a title. And if you're Anthony, I mean, Anthony's going to be in that league. He's going to be like 1-13 anyway. So it's like, he's kind of just shooting in the dark. I mean, I think he'll look. Honestly, I understand the trade, and I'm not going to shit on him. But I think in the end, Josh wins that deal. But that's just an example.
Oh, yeah.
There's probably a lot of that going on in a lot of these guys' leagues. Other people.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
People are free to comment too if they see deals like that going on in their leagues. But there's a lot of stuff. So I'm glad we kind of brought that up and mentioned that because there's a lot of those deals where the commission, especially from your seat, because you're the commissioner in a lot of these leagues, and you're probably just like, okay, they want to do what?
Well, yeah, I mean, and that's the other thing, and I didn't want to be like, I mean, I didn't want to be like another. I'm like, okay, I don't want to like repeat.
Like this guy's incompetent. Yeah, this guy's a moron. Yeah.
I mean, and that's the way I kind of saw it, way I kind of seen it. It's just like, dude, what the hell? I was like, dude, no way. I mean, honestly, I probably would have I would have gone for Jimmy or freaking Wentz off the waiver wire first. Get another another QB. Look at what you could have added, dropped, and then maybe freaking do something after that.
See, but that's a championship move because you're a diamond. You're a diamond level player in Yahoo.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm saying like that Anthony's far from that. I mean, I think Anthony's still Bush League here because that's something I understand the trade, but I'm just saying that's not something we would do. I would have done what you would, because I'm like, there's not much difference between Carson Wentz and Tom Brady. Not in like, oh, Tom Brady's the GOAT. Yeah, obviously. But in terms of like fantasy wise, there's not a lot of difference between Carson Wentz and Tom Brady. Enough where you give up your number one back. I mean, it's the way Saquon's playing right now. I mean, he could him and Wentz. You pick up a Wentz and then you ride Saquon out. Maybe Anthony salvages a 6-8 or 7-7 season if Saquon goes off. Now he's got no. I mean, unless Brady just goes gangbusters, which I don't even know if he's capable of at 45 anymore. I mean, you're 1-13. I mean, this is 1-13 going down in flames. I mean, this is what it looks like in real life here. But I'm glad we could comment on that because I know that was it was interesting to me. Like, because I know a lot of those deals go on in leagues and a lot of people don't bring them to light. They kind of just stay in the dark, and we kind of brought that up. But
well, I mean, I was just looking at Josh's team because he had Herbert, Waddle, Michael Thomas, Samuel, Barkley. Now he's got Derrick Henry. He's got Waller, Henderson. and he's got Connor, Hunt, Julio, Hilliard, Duvernay. See, and that's why I'll just like, that's why I'm like, dude, what the. See, and that's why I'm like, dude, this should. Honestly, I didn't think this trade should go through.
I was gonna say, but I was gonna say, you sound like the U.S. government, 120 years ago with the oil barons and the railroad. You're trying to break up the J.P. Morgan, monopoly. like Josh has got a monopoly on all the good players, but go ahead. I thought that was.
Oh yeah, no, it is kind of just like, dude. If I was in Anthony's spot, I've been like, yeah, no. How about you give me Cream Hunt? Because he's got Connor. I mean, it's like, how about you give me Cream Hunt, and you can have let's see here. Yep, I would have done like Cream Hunt and Tom Brady for his Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, I mean, and that might be a high asking price, but I mean, if you think
not really,
if you think Saquon can command, well, just it's as valuable as you think Saquon is. I mean, he plays. He's an all pro level player. He gets hurt and you're screwed. So it's that's a lot to ask. But yeah, I mean, you're entitled to go for that. If Anthony could have played hardball, he could be like, no, I want this, and I'm standing firm. But he, like I said, that's an amateur move.
Yeah,
it's an amateur move. Did we want to get into the threes of crowd, or did we have anything else on waivers?
Nope. I think.
Hey, I was going to make a quick note, Jimmy. People are talking up the Bears defense this weekend against Houston. And I know the Bears obviously it was a monsoon against the 49ers, but they looked good in that game and they made quite a few turnovers. So I think the Bears defense, if you're in a bad defensive matchup, if you're Miami, for example, if somebody's got Miami's defense and they're playing Buffalo, we know the Bills are going to score points like crazy. They don't turn the ball over a lot. So if you're looking for somebody to kind of maybe offset that with some of the mistakes Houston makes, maybe put the Bears defense in there and pick them up. But that should be it for waivers. Three's a crowd, man. You know that?
Yes.
You know that? It's like get out of here. You tell me that sometimes with your wife. You're like, dude, I gotta go.
Yeah.
Freeze the crowd. Go home.
I wonder if Anthony's watching, because I think somebody's watching on Facebook. So I wonder if Anthony's listening.
I hope he is. I said it. Yeah, I said it's an amateur move.
Yeah. No, don't go huddling in a corner, Anthony.
I want to know what because we're. A lot of people say this, like the big wigs, they say this stuff, but nobody ever really except maybe on Twitter or something. People don't really comment. I'd like to see in real time. I'd like Anthony to come in here and comment. And it's like, hey, MFers, this is why I did what I did. Go to hell, or something. Stand up for yourself, dude. Like something. I don't know, but he won't. He won't. He doesn't.
Yeah, because he's a chicken and he's at work at freaking. Planet Fitness.
Yeah. $1 down, Jamie. maybe Anthony can get us a sponsorship down. We'll go in there and break some of their equipment. We got the lunk detector, where if you put the weight down too hard, it sends off an alarm.
Oh my God!
It's like a real thing.
Oh Jesus! I'm actually surprised. Is Chad? Are you still listening? Man, he's dedicated. So Chad,
thanks for hanging in there, Chad. Thanks, brother.
Yeah, most definitely. But yeah, let's if everybody, Kay would talk now. Well, okay. We appreciate the views. Wherever they're coming from. We hope you guys like our show, our commentary, our comedy hour too at the same time, because we're always full of jokes too, so I'm hoping everybody likes what they're listening to. If I guess if not, they wouldn't be watching us. I guess
this is true.
Chad must like us.
We're pretty direct. Like we don't. This is honestly how we feel on every. You say anything, put a topic. Your thoughts on Tua. I'll be like, it's me, bitches. Oh, it's Buddy.
Yeah. I'm actually Yeah, I'm surprised Buddy, you actually have time to watch this?
I
That's
know.
that's
Usually
surprising.
a usually a busy man.
I know. I know he's usually hiding in his bedroom, I'm sure. Oh wait, he probably was cooking some food.
Cooking something up, yeah. Weren't you guys gonna make
Yeah.
salsa last weekend?
We actually got hey buddy, we have a lot more tomatoes, dude. So yeah, hit me up later about that.
Let's see. All right.
Yes.
Well, speaking of buddy, we're about to talk about his beloved Steelers here in our threes a crowd. Got three.
Steelers lose. That's all I'm gonna say. They suck. Get Trubisky up out of there. Let's get the
I think
rookie pick. It's
I think it would be for the best. And Buddy wanted him in week one, but he'll probably comment here in a second. Like he wanted he wanted Pickett in week one. I think all the fans are excited. They're like, this kid's the second coming. And the Browns, I mean, the Browns should be 2-0. I mean, they I guess they barely got by the Panthers, but they beat them. They should have beat the Jets. They blew that game. 38 and a half. I think, you know, I think it's actually going to be under. Usually I take the over because I think these games are always going to be so high, but I think this one's going to be under. I think this is going to be like their matchup with the Patriots. I think the Steelers have trouble moving the football, and as long as they keep, Trubisky in there, I think it's going to be a lot of 2017, 17-14 kind of games, kind of old school games. And so I think that's what the experts were banking on. I think this one is 2017 Browns. Steelers, so the Browns are 5.5 favorites. They won't cover that. So the Steelers, I think, will win that outright because I don't think the Browns are going to. I don't think the Browns are going to blow them out or even beat them by a touchdown. I think it's going to be a close game. It's in Cleveland. It's in Cleveland. Brissett's been. I mean, what more can you expect from Jacoby Brissett? I mean, he's a backup put in a bad spot, but he's hey, make a couple big. I mean, Amari had a good game week 2 against the Jets. Proved that he's not Amari from this Dallas or Raider days, but Amari still proved he can play in the league, and which is good. Peoples Jones had a good game, so they got. I mean, when they need to, throw a couple long bombs, which Brissett can do. I mean, he's not gonna cerebrally beat you all over the field like an Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, Mahomes kind of guy. But I mean, if he can make a couple deep throws and you just hand it off to the backs, let Hunt and Chubb each get 100 yards, do their thing, get 100 yards. I think that's the recipe to beat the Steelers. Browns defense, Myles Garrett is wreaking havoc on defense. I think he'll be all over Trubisky, probably get a couple sacks. So if you're looking for defensive players to throw in the lineup this week, Myles Garrett's a definite guy. And on the Steelers side, Najee was kind of banged up, and I think he should be, from what I was reading, he should be healthy for week 3. But yeah, they've got weapons. It's sad, man. It's like Claypool. You know how much I like Deontay Johnson. I love the tight end Freiermuth. Love the running back. Offensive line is garbage, but that's why you get a younger. And Trubisky's not that old, but like that's why you get the younger guy in there with better pocket presence. I mean, I think Pickett. I don't think it's going to break his. I don't think it's going to break his will. I mean, if the offensive line allows a few sacks or he gets picked off a few times, he seems like a pretty stable kid. So I'd give him. I'd let this game happen, let it play out, go to 1-2, and then put Pickett in and be like, sorry, Mitch, we're making the switch. Hey, that rhymes. Mitch, we're making the switch. And, 2017. What are you thinking?
This game could be I think I'm gonna put this as a push because it's the Browns are very capable of putting up some points because they do got the two-headed monster with Chubb and Hunt. So I mean, it's very capable that one of these two guys either going to get a touchdown or one of these guys are going to have some 100-yard games on these guys. Cooper and Peoples Jones would be two of the guys I'd probably be looking at to actually play. I mean, Cooper was actually out on almost 81% of their snaps. Peoples Jones was also out there on about 78% of their snaps. So I mean, it's going to be either or, and I think they just wanted to get Cooper involved a little bit. So I mean, maybe it's going to be a little toss up. Maybe Peoples Jones has a better game this week. So I mean, it's just going to be very on strategy, well, game plans and whatnot. So Harris on the other side. I mean, he was actually in on I think it was 80% of the game their snaps or 71% of their snaps. Um, so he'll be a good play. As I think they need to get Najee involved just a little bit more. Get that run game going a little bit. I mean, if they get the run game going, then there'll be no stopping them there. Um, Deontay Johnson and Claypool probably either one number two guys. Don't forget about Maramuth either. I mean, Maramuth is always a given. He's been out there on most of their 80 to almost 90% of their snaps. So I mean, he's involved in the offense pretty high too. So I mean, I can see him maybe possibly getting a touchdown in this game.
Absolutely, they'll score at least one touchdown, and of the guys that I think Fryermuth has the greatest chance. I think it's between him and Najee for probably one touchdown the Steelers get. I think the other one will be on defense. I think they'll score two. You're thinking probably 28-10. You're thinking it's going to be a Cleveland domination. Is that kind of what I'm getting at? Like you're
just kind of a push for points wise, because I mean I just think it's going to be kind of even.
About a 6-point game, but
yeah,
or about that same probably about what
same total. I mean it's going to be even.
21-16, 21-14, something like that.
Pretty much. Yeah. I just don't think it's going.
We're in the same ballpark yet.
But the other thing is what do we do with Pickens? I mean, Pickens has been out there for most of their snaps. I mean, he's been out there, but he's
just because Mitch, he had the same problem. He has trouble reading defenses, like a lot of young guys do. But I mean, Mitch especially, that wasn't his specialty coming into the league. He was an athletic guy with a decent arm. I mean, that's why he was taken number 2. That's why he was the number 2 overall. Let me repeat this again. He was taken ahead of Mahomes. He was taken. So this was that same dude, same guy. He's not. He's going to go to his first. I mean, he's going to go to Deontay. More than likely, he's going to go to Deontay, or he's going to go to Fryermuth, or he's going to hand it. I mean, there's not a lot of work with Claypool right now. There's not a lot of work with George Pickens. I think with a different quarterback and maybe a better offensive line, which probably won't come till next year. I almost think that Pickens. I think if you're in a deeper league, you stash him on the bench right now. And if you're in a small, if you're in a 10-man, I think you drop him.
Yeah, I think I would have to agree with you there. 10-man, drop him.
That's tough, man, because we're going to have to eat a plate of shit because we talked up George Pickens and he had a great preseason. But if you're in a 10-man, you're in a 10-man league, you need to cut bait. He's not producing right now. And I don't think if he does start producing, week 9, 10, he's not going to be that hard to get back. He's not. It's not like you're dropping Chase Claypool, where I mean, you look dumb. Like, what are you doing? I think George Pickens is more understandable, and you can reacquire him if you need to. So I drop him in a smaller league. And then, so do you want to? Yeah, there we go. So Bills and Dolphins Sunday. 51 points total. Bills are about a 4-point favorite. Yeah, that sounds about right. It's in Miami. It's gonna be hot down. It'll be hot, Jamie. Be hot down there.
This is gonna be I think this is gonna be a very interesting. Game. Yes, I think this is. I think this. I know it's. I think this was going to be a very interesting game because you got this game might be under 51 points. I think.
No. This is going to be a shootout. This, dude. I think this is going to be. I think Buffalo, because who's been able to? I mean, drop 31 on the Rams, 41 just on the Titans there. So who's this? I don't see any reason why the Bills can't drop 35 on Miami. And Ravens just dropped 38. So I don't see why the Bills can't put up 35. And at the same time, I don't see why Miami can't put up like 24. I got it as a 35-24 game, Buffalo winning. So that's 61. So I don't see why it couldn't. I mean, the way Miami's been moving the ball and Buffalo too. I mean, it's just two really good teams. And I think Buffalo covers on that. I think Josh Allen has another 3-touchdown game. Be interested. I think Singletary is going to show out for this. I think Singletary is going to have a good game. I think he'll have at least a touchdown. And then
Well, I don't know. It's maybe possible. I mean, if you
I've
Singletary
been
was
waiting
only
for
in
him to have a good game. Yeah, I've been waiting. You know,
Singletary he was only in 54% of the snaps last night. Moss was actually in there, or Cooks was actually in there a little bit more. Cooks had almost 26% of the snaps, but he actually rushed for 53 yards in there. Moss, I'm not sure. Let me look here quick.
he's fallen
Moss
out of
was in Moss was in there about 19% of the
yeah.
snaps. It's about 17 odd yards. So I mean, it might be Singletary Cook show now. Maybe 1-2. I
I
mean,
think
maybe
that yeah.
Singletary might be a little bit higher up there a little bit. So maybe Cooks might be a guy to maybe almost watch. Maybe see what Cooks does after this game. If he does
Yeah.
gets a little
Oh,
bit more involved.
no, definitely. And Singletary, I don't know. I'd have to look at some more teams to see exactly, if he's a start. I mean, obviously in a 16 man, he's automatic start. But I'm wondering, I think in like a 10 or 12, I think you could put him in at the flex this week. If he's by chance on your bench, I would put him in. If I had a 10 or 12 man, I would put Daryl Singletary in at my flex spot. But 16 man, he should be in there already. Some of the other guys, obviously Diggs, 3 touchdowns last night, just beast mode.
Yeah,
Diggs is always a top 5 option, at
yeah.
PPR receiver. Um, Gabe Davis,
He was a scratch. He was a scratch. So you have to kind of watch. You have to watch
his
his
health
see if
there.
he's.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think McKenzie was the same way too. Oh nope, he was on 46% of the plays, but 37 yards,
Yeah, it
couple.
was basically they're like, Diggsy, you're our number one guy. We're down Davis, like you got to step up. We're gonna target you a ton, and that's what he does. That's what a number one does. He when their backs are against the wall, their bodies are out, shows out. I think
Yeah.
Knox. What did Knox do?
Knox. He had Knox had he had about 4 for 41, so he was out on 69% of the plays.
About his average. Yeah, it's about what he does. So just solid all around. Yeah, I see Singletary, and I see. I saw what the Miami secondary looked like against Baltimore, and Baltimore doesn't have the quality receivers that Buffalo has. So I think Diggs has another monster game. I think it's a lot of Josh Allen, a lot of Diggs, and a lot of Singletary, and maybe a little bit of the deep. I think a special teams touchdown sprinkled in, maybe a pick six or a fumble recovery. I think
Yeah,
Buffalo's
very
defense,
possible.
they even when they're gonna allow some points. I mean, Miami can score the ball. I mean, no question. With those weapons, I mean, it's gonna be hard to stop them all game. I think Tyreek and Waddle, I think they'll each have another touchdown. So one touchdown, and then I think the running back. I think Mostart will get. He'll have his first decent day of the season. I think Mostart will have a touchdown rushing. So Tua, yeah, basically Tua have 2 touchdowns. I think he'll also have 2 picks. I think they're gonna.
Yeah.
Tua's
I
gonna
know.
come back.
I don't know. Maybe Edmonds. Edmund gets in there a little bit more involved.
Edmonds too. Yeah, Edmonds yeah, definitely. Yeah, I could see Chase Edmonds.
Yeah, I think Edmonds maybe gets a little bit more involved this time. Maybe possibly. I mean, that'd be kind of dope. I know because I got some shares of him, so I mean, I like to see him a little bit more involved. But I mean, yeah, it's very possible that Mustard. I mean, if Edmonds doesn't do anything, that Mustard actually kind of maybe takes over some more of that kind
Unsung
of.
hero. Yep.
Yep. But yeah, Hill and Model, I think they'll probably have 70, 80 yards between the two. I don't. Maybe one of them might get a touchdown in there. I think Gesicki, he might sneak in a touchdown in there too, because I mean he was in there for almost 62% of plays. I mean he had 4 for 41. He had a touchdown too, so it's very possible that Gesicki could be in there, get in there, and be a sneak play too.
Yeah, and I don't know why people are so. He's every time I look at the Yahoo projections or any kind or the Fantasy Pros or any, I've seen a lot of hate for Gesicki. Gesicki's he had a couple good years leading up to this, and I don't know if it was because of the new offense with the coach, but Gesicki's a good tight end. He's not great. He's good. I mean, I don't see
Yeah.
why Gesicki can't have a touchdown, or why he can't have 5 grabs for 55 yards, 60 yards. I mean, Gesicki's a solid, good tight end. So he's a good play in my. Yeah, if you got to stick him in, you're in a 16-man league. I would start Mike Gesicki at tight end this week.
Yeah.
Unless you're playing with Waller or Kelsey or Andrew, some high up guy. But if you've got a mediocre tight end, definitely I'd consider Mike Gesicki this weekend for sure. Jamie's thinking.
Yeah, I was just trying to look. It looked like Gesicki was actually dropped. Yeah. Yeah, no, I think this game's gonna be a very interesting game to kind of see if how these two guys over here, see if these two guys actually repeats. I'm kind of curious on that, but I just don't know. I just don't think that's gonna be. I don't think that's gonna happen though. But I don't know. It's just kind of curious to see. I mean, both these guys are gonna be pretty good. It's gonna be a nice duel for sure. With Tua, it's kind of like the 1-2 punch. It's pretty awesome. Kind of see the Dolphins kind of turning things around.
That's my nickname for Tua, so it makes sense. My nickname is Hawaiian Punch.
There you go. I'm gonna go. I think the Bills get their first loss of the season. I'm gonna go with the Dolphins.
Okay, upset. All right.
Yeah.
Could be.
That's just that's just me though.
It's gonna be hot down there, man. It's gonna be hot and humid. Buffalo always struggles in Miami in September. Throughout their rivalry history. So, and I love these, dude. I'm loving these retro logo. I love the little Titans, Titan head you had, and I'm digging these Cowboys and Giants logos here. This is badass.
Yeah, well, I got I got to do a little something different. Make things. Yeah, it makes things up so it's not like just those are boring. So I like to do things a little differently. Because we're different people. I don't like to be same as other people. That's the whole point. That's the whole point. It's the whole point of doing this stuff, man. Yeah. But anyways, we got Dallas and the Giants. Ooh, it's nice NFC rival always with the Giants and Dallas.
Yeah, no, dude, it's I can't believe I'm saying this. The 2-0 New York Giants against Dallas. Actually, Dallas is coming to New York, so it'll be a road game. These two, they put on, anytime they're in prime time, they always put on. It's always a great game, no matter what the records are, what season it is, who's out there. I hate Danny Dimes, but a healthy Saquon right now, and the way their defense and offensive line's been playing. The Giants look they look leaps and bounds better than they did under Joe Judge. Brian Dable knows. I've only seen 2 games, but Brian Dable looks like he knows what he's doing. On the other side, I don't think Mike McCarthy knows what he's doing, but
yeah,
he looked good against the Bengals. Week 1 obviously was a struggle, but a lot of teams. You're gonna have a shit game. That was Dallas's shit game was Tampa. So
yeah,
Dallas. I could see them. I could see them putting up a fight. I could. I can't believe I'm saying this, man. I think the Giants are going to go to 3-0. I can't.
Oh, I
think they're going to cover too. I think they're going to win. I think it's going to be 21. I think it's going to be 21-7. I think Dallas. I think Rush is going to be rushed. That Giants defensive front is going to go over him. And I don't see it. I don't see Dallas, putting up a ton of yards or a ton of points. CeeDee Lamb you have to play because he's a number 1 receiver. But anybody else I'm sketch on. I guess Dalton Schultz falls into that too because he's so good. But I think the only touchdown they're going to get, Jamie, is a Pollard run. I think Tony Pollard's going to score a rushing touchdown. I think that's the only touchdown Dallas will get.
I think Dallas gets another touchdown. He'll be on the defense. So we got Micah Parsons, who's just a monster.
He's a beast. He is.
Yeah, I think so. I think there might be a fumble in there somewhere. The Cowboys. This one's gonna be it's always when it comes to NFC and with the Giants and stuff. But the Cowboys always kind of rule the Giants. So every once in a great while, Giants might win, but with backup QB. our running backs just being total shit. I mean, Elliott's evidently not doing anything at all. I mean, he's
Zeke's
only been in he's been in 58th and 67% of our snaps. So he hasn't even reached 60 odd yards yet at all in the
because
season.
he's shot. And if they blow, if somehow Dallas, blows this thing up, and they would. I don't think that Jerry doesn't do that. I don't think he's going to fire McCarthy midseason. And he
Do
loves Zeke.
it.
He loves Zeke too
Do
much.
it.
But I would fire McCarthy, especially if this season gets off the rails. I'd fire McCarthy and I would trade
Yeah.
Zeke.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I like Pollard. Pollard looks better than Zeke. I mean, even though with him being in 55 to 39% of snaps, I mean, Zeke's still their number one guy, but Pollard does.
Barely.
Yeah. I mean, Pollard does better with the limited action he does get. So, I mean, he's a little bit quicker. He's a little bit more explosive. Let's just put it that way. I mean, Zeke or Pollard is actually better than Elliott right now at the moment. So I mean, but they're gonna still have Elliott in. Lamb, no Brown, Gallup might play Monday night, but watch headlines, I guess. And if he does play, it'd be super limited, so I won't even play him.
Yeah, he's not worth it. No.
Yeah, Turpin. I probably, if you're in a deeper league, I wouldn't even put Turpin in. I have Tolbert, and I might have to drop Tolbert because he's not even involved at all. I don't think he's, so I mean, it's kind of shitty. I drafted him, so yeah, I'm gonna have to drop Tolan in a couple leagues. But Schultz, keep an eye out on him. He might not play because he has a PCL.
God. Maybe I might be right on this 7 points then. If you don't have Dalton Schultz or Dak Prescott, I mean, it's man, oh man. This Giants defense a lot better, man. This Giants defense a lot better than it's been. And Dallas's defense is good too, but Dalton, they need him. I mean, if they want to have any chance of salvaging the season or give Cooper Rush kind of a security blanket, Dalton Schultz is that guy. And if he's
well, we do got we do got the rookie, Jake Ferguson from Wisconsin. So,
well, I mean, usually these tight ends don't come. I mean, not everybody's Kyle Pitts. I mean, Kyle Pitts is a monster. Not everybody comes in year one as a tight end and just tears it up. So, I don't know how I feel about the rook, but they're going to need to put some there. Cooper Rush is in trouble. He's in for. There's a reason why you were on the practice squad a couple weeks ago, dude. Like you're you're not. I mean, he had a good game, but it's like if he was this good, dude, they wouldn't have given. If Cooper Rush was this good, they wouldn't have given Dak Prescott $40+ million. They wouldn't have given faced the franchise. They wouldn't have given all this stuff to Dak. There's a reason for this stuff, and I don't know. I don't think. I know Joe Flacco can't, but I mean, at one time, Joe Flacco was like a Pro Bowl level quarterback, so at least he was proven. I mean, Cooper Rush has done nothing in the league, except fill in a game. So I don't know. I don't see it. So
more than likely. Barkley, he's a good play. Matt Breida probably won't be involved too much. Shepard be a main guy with the Giants. Hard to say with Galladay and Tony. Maybe Richie James. He might be. He had 5 for 51, and he was out there in 42% of the plays.
I think Dable likes James. I think Dable's going to have his guy. I don't think he likes Galladay. I don't think he likes Tone. There's some guys I think that are Brian Dable guys. I think he's kind of like this is what I'm going to build my offense around. I think James is one of those guys, and especially maybe in this, once some injuries happen, maybe later in the season, if James is still doing this, go snag him up.
Oh my God, Kadarius Toney they kind of projected them at him being their number one guy. He's only been in 12% and 38% of their snaps these couple weeks, and
it might be nothing. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if I don't think he's hurt. I didn't hear anything.
No, I don't know.
I just think I think Dable's got his guy. I think he's trying to be like, no, we're building a winning culture here, and I think he's gonna implement his guys, and maybe Tony doesn't end up being one of his guys. Maybe Tony is kind of fallen out of favor. I mean, Galladay's already fallen out of favor. I mean, this isn't Joe Judge. You know, this is a new era. Like we're not okay with winning 3 or 4 games anymore. Like, you know, this is
Yeah.
gonna. I mean, Brian Dable almost. You know, look what he did with Josh Allen. He turned Josh Allen into the best quarterback in the league. So. I don't know. I think he knows what he's doing, and you know, you gotta clean house. Which is what Dallas should do too. Take
Yep.
a page from the Giants book and everybody.
Well,
All right.
that
Ugh.
is crazy. But yeah, I like. I'm always a Dallas guy, so I mean, I'm gonna say Dallas wins, but I mean, Giants could maybe pull this one out, but it's gonna be very hard. But I think Dallas wins this one out myself. But yeah, I think this kind of wraps up everything. Well, we enjoyed our one view or couple views, anyways, which is it's never bad. We're just doing what we got to do here, man. We're just but yeah, hey Chad, we appreciate you actually watching.
Yeah,
Time
if you know
flies.
anybody
Go
that
ahead.
likes if you know anybody that likes football commentary and kind of likes a different take on it, you know, share our stuff too. You know, it's like, hey, check these guys out. You want something to listen to that's a little out of rhythm. You know,
Yeah.
never hurts.
Yes, it is. Yes. But yeah,
We like
what
listen because we like listening to new stuff. I mean, we come across new stuff on Spotify and YouTube, and so that's how you're found is, you know, people. So
oh
if
yeah,
you
most definitely. That's about right. Yeah. But yeah, we'll be back on Friday, Twin Turbo Friday. That's
league time, league
yep,
time.
where we kind of we dig into our leagues, into a couple of leagues, and we just kind of break things down a little bit more. Kind of almost similar to what we do with, you know, the threes a crowd. Um, but yeah, we kind of do that with who we like, we don't like. It's kind of the same thing a little bit. Then we just get in some other random stuff in there too. So I mean, it's always fun. We have a little bit more fun with that one a little bit. Kind of diss some people a little bit here and there, and it's always fun. So
Trash talking, yeah.
uh, but yeah.
All right,
Anyways, I think that's probably wraps this up. But we'll see you guys. So I'm Jamie and Eli,
Eli,
or that's Eli over
Friday,
there. Make
Friday,
sure to
league time.
before we get going, make sure you subscribe on YouTube. Like, if you like our stuff, hit a like. I'm not sure how it goes for Twitch, but I know with Facebook and you can like the video. I think that's about it, really. So, anyways, we will see you guys Friday.
Yeah,
So, alrighty, from Jamie and Eli, we are up out of here.
Bye-bye.
Peace.